right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start the December 11th meeting. Everybody will please stand and pledge allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First item, you all have in your packet the minutes from November 13th. Is there any additions or corrections? If none, I obtain a motion to accept.
So made.
Motion by Ms. Talent,
Second.
second by Ms. Jones. Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Motion. Second one, in your package, you have an executive session minutes from October 24th. Are there any additions or corrections? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So made.
Motion by Ms. Talent. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Donovan. Ms. Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion carried. Third one, the special meeting minutes from November 26th. You guys should have those in the package. Are there any additions or corrections? Being none, I'll entertain a motion.
So made.
Motion by Ms. Jones, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Talent. All those in favor? Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next one, order of business, reading of correspondence. Being none, we're on number 4. Police report, Sergeant Collins.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, or appointed Mayor, Acting Mayor, and everyone in attendance and all the council. For November 2024, I attended the community policing for the town Christmas tree lighting November 30th. The Greenwood Police Department is preparing for the annual Christmas parade, so we'll be out there assisting with the events committee in reference to that. That's this Friday. The angel tree has been removed and will be currently receiving gifts for this year. We'll be getting the presents wrapped, and before Christmas we'll get it out to the family. The training that I've received last month is a drug investigation training course. Myself and Kevin Eichman completed Power DMS training, which will be an upcoming electronic transition for DPAC. Currently for our accreditation, we do everything through paper, and it'll all be online. So we'll be transitioning into that. Another thing we're needing from DPAC is a police accountability committee. It's 8.1.2. It's a written directive governing the formation of a police accountability committee to provide advice to the police departments on policy, training, and other issues relating to or affecting the police department and the communities served by the department. We're looking for membership to be appointed. Membership requirements include religious leaders from the community, someone impacted directly or our immediate family members or caregivers of those impacted by the juvenile or adult criminal justice system. Non-officer members shall complete 20 hours of community training with the department within 1 year of this appointment. This includes ride-alongs, citizen, police academy, or other training. Additional mandates for membership or structures may be included. And the Police Accountability Committee or boards are subject to the requirements of the Freedom of Information Act, Chapter 100 of Title 29. So we're basically required to now have a Police Accountability Committee. I'm looking for anybody that's within our community. You could live here, you could own a business here, you could be at the church, religious, and we need at least 5. And I believe we can go up to 13, but they would assist the police department with training and any other issues that we have reflecting the department and the community. From Cape, let's see, there was, I guess Milton did one recently. It was published on December 9th. So they just had one. So I'm looking to try to do that as well with our community so we can get that going. They only meet like 4 times a year. But if you have questions, let me know. I'm still learning more about
I
it.
have one right now. Do they have to live in town as long as they have a Greenwood address or?
So I believe, I could probably check on that, but I believe they have to have either a business in town or have property in town. So,
I didn't know if they just had a Greenwood address, if they could.
yeah, I can touch base with DPAC and see what the requirements are with that. And then we also met with the engineer, myself, and the town manager, Todd, and it looks like what would be feasible is instead of moving a bunch of stuff or creating a whole new police department, is to build a whole new town hall. You could have your own requirements on what you guys would like to do with that, and then the police department would take this building completely over. It would, because for accreditation purposes, we're looking for like a wellness room, a fitness room, and to build a whole new station and whatnot may not necessarily be feasible and cost effective. You know, I believe with what we currently have, with this building here, we can make this building work. And I believe working hand in hand with the town, that the town can build a bigger room for your council meetings and you can kind of build what you want. So, I mean, if that's the recommendation that council, that's my recommendation for council is to probably move forward with that instead of moving our boilers or our electric panel and all that, as that's probably going to cost a lot of money.
Is there any questions?
How old's the boiler?
I have no idea.
Says the bank.
I know when the engineer looked at it, he was like not thrilled with trying to move that. It's not really feasible to do that.
They just did a maintenance and inspection on it a week ago. There was a repair required. He said it's in good shape. He's probably about 5 years old, is what he told me. But it is what it is.
The recommendation from the engineer reads, a preliminary cost estimate has not been completed, however, based on our recent experience with Millsboro Police Department, knowledge of former back renovations and other experiences, we recommend the mayor and council construct a new town hall behind the existing facility and modify the police department. The project could be phased to allow all services to function as normal during the various phases to meet the needs of the citizens. Town hall could be designed and improved to begin construction mid to late 2025. The existing building modification design could be completed in mid to late 25, and construction should commence in late 2025, early 2026. That's from Davis Belford.
Any other questions regarding time? If none, with that being said, closing comments, you come forward, please. On behalf of the council and the town residents, we want to give you this plaque for all your hard work and dedication and loyalty to the town. It means a lot. Over the last 4 months, you've been doing the work of 5 people by yourself. And hopefully, this is just a little something. I know it's not a lot, but it is something. And we do appreciate you, and we are glad you're here, and we hope you can stay here until you decide to retire.
And that's my goal. I do appreciate that. It has been stressful for the past few months. We've been working on accreditation and everything that has been transpiring, on top of handling complaints, on top of trying to get a chief on board, trying to get another officer on board. And I do hope come January, we'll be reapproved for accreditation. I've finally got all those files back. I went through most of them all today, and we're pretty much ready to go. So I contacted John Feenhan. We're just waiting on the chief to be on board. Hopefully we will have one tonight. And then we will get that accreditation process back to where it should be, and we'll be back approved through the state standards. But I do appreciate that, and I appreciate council working with me and everything else, and trying to make this all work out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like where you're headed.
Next order of business, town manager's report.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple things. The Christmas tree lighting went very well. We got good feedback from it. Unfortunately, the wind damaged the tree, so we'll have to get it repaired, but we have moved all the ornaments into the tree in Town Hall here in the Town Hall lobby. Again, thank you to Doug Avery for the donation of the tree. Jessica and BJ Lederer, who donated the Santa mailbox and helped. Kelly Newer, helping with the planning and execution of the event, and Mr. Massey for helping the Santa. And Little Miss Greenwood, Zyla Quackenbush, and Councilwoman Cindy Green for officially lighting the tree up that night. And also thank you to the Bridgeville Kiwanis for putting up our street lights. The residents that night, a lot of them were mentioning they'd like to see more town events, like maybe farmers market come back, maybe an outdoor movie night or something like that. So that's just some feedback that we received. The Christmas parade's this Friday at 7. This is the biggest parade that we've had yet. With the amount of entries, it'll line up on West Market, out to the blinking light at Greenwood Road and on 2nd Street. Street closures will be at 6:30 for all the streets along the parade route. No street parking after 5. There are no project updates at this time. December 13th, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is the filing deadline for candidates for the January 18th, 2025 council election. There are 2 seats available. December 19th at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is voter registration deadline to register to vote in the January election. And remember, if you're registered with the state of Delaware, you don't have to be registered with the town as well. We have Schulke's coming in next week to test the pumps on the wells, to give us a report to see if we can modify the pumps to get more water or if we're going to need another water tower. Mr. Donovan, I understand you had a concern about the Friday updates that was requested in the performance plan. So I sent you an email, I don't know if you got it, on November 18th about the responses that is a FOIA violation, so that cannot be done. You did get it or you didn't get it?
I don't think I got it.
So I'll resend that.
Let me look. May I?
Absolutely, I can resend it to you. Also, just thanking a few more people because it takes a huge team to put these town events together. Again, Kelly, Mr. Massey, Jessica and her husband, Carolyn, because she is in the middle of this, Kevin Eichman and Sergeant Thomas in the police department. Over the last few months, they really worked together with everybody to keep things moving. I would also like to thank Stephanie Ballard. We needed an employment contract for a new chief, and the town solicitor could not do it. Mr. Wilcox did not disclose a conflict, so she agreed to take it on just as a one and done. She's just going to do that for us. I want to thank Carolyn for all her hard work. I'm getting ready to go on vacation. Her and Roger are going to take the helm and run things. And and I want to thank Mr. Moran. Since having to fill the seat of the mayor, he's shown he's willing to work with everybody, and he's been here asking lots of questions, which we appreciate. And he'll admit it if he doesn't know something. He'll ask questions, and so. And then just the last thing is a statement. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deactivate the town Facebook page because it has become nothing but negativity, and we have to study, delete things and remove things and it was meant to be announcements, history, and good stuff for the town, but it is not that anymore. So the OWL that Kevin runs, those meetings will be put on the town's website as soon as that takes place. We'll post things on the sign out front of town hall and at the library and the post office.
Todd, we
Yeah.
want to add one thing to that.
What's that?
The 17th, 18th, and 19th, Santa's house, it'll be here 6 to 8, and we're going to move it up here in the parking lot instead of, because we figure it's going to be some muddy in that lot and everything. And it's safer for the kids not crossing the road.
And what are the times?
6 to 8,
16.
17th, 18th, and 19th.
And Santa Rock,
6 to 8.
when's Santa Rock your town on the fire truck? Does anybody know?
The
19th or 19th? Okay.
Yeah, 19th. That's at 6, I think.
Ms. Howell, what about your number 2?
All right, on the 1 East Minor Street, we have a property on 1 East Minor Street, that the town has taken to munition sale twice and it has not sold. It owes the town $28,000. After speaking with the sheriff's sale, the employees at the sheriff's office and the town solicitor, they recommend the town buys that back and then sells it to a builder or somebody to recoup their money.
At what price would it be for us?
Whatever we buy it for at auction. It's never received a bid. So you would have a starting bid, you go in there, and if we get it, then the town gets it, and then we receive it.
Any thought?
How much property is there? Is it big enough to build on?
It's probably big enough to get 2 lots if it's done right, and the gentleman that owns the little piece in between said he'd be willing to sell to whoever bought it too. So we've had 2 builders that are interested in it. But for some reason, they don't go to the sheriff's sale anymore. I don't know why, but the next sheriff's sale, it'll be in February. So you guys can think about it and vote next month if you want. Up to you.
Any thought come up here, you want to wait and discuss it later, or you want to discuss it now?
You wanna wait and see if it sells in February, or it doesn't matter to me really?
It costs us about $2,200 every time we take it to sheriff's sale. That's the only thing.
And how long has it been going to sheriff?
It's been twice already.
It goes down $400.
And if we go back in February, it costs us $2,200. But there's a map in your packet that shows the lot and everything. But like I said, it doesn't go till February. We don't have to send these things to the sheriff's department until January. So if you want to wait till January, you can certainly wait. It's up to you.
Motion table. And seconded. Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan? Motion table. All right, number 3, Ms. Todd, financial review.
Yep. On the table when you got here tonight, there was a list of the bank account balances and that's everything that's in the bank as of December the 10th. Just remember when you look at these balances, though, there's certain accounts can only be used for certain things. So just, don't look at it and say, oh, we have $1 million you can spend, because we certainly don't. The Biotron, the municipal street aid, ARPA, all of that can only be spent on certain things. The the expense account was previously the sewer account. That's the one you had asked about, Mrs. Fallon.
Okay.
And then the auditors, when we lost the sewer, changed it to an expense account because then you can use it for anything instead of just being held there. Realty transfer, there are guidelines as to what you can use that for as well. Edie, Sally, Viacom, those are all police grants, so they can only be used by the police department for certain things. The next thing I want to bring up, the realty transfer account, if you look at that, the balance is $585,989.80. So we have 2 drinking water loans that the town has had for years, and I received payoffs for those, and the payoff for those total $227,233.61. I checked with Realty Transfer, the regulations, we can pay off those loans with that money, if you're allowed to do that. So if we do that, that would leave us $358,756.19 in the Realty Transfer account, and that would save us probably $100,000 a year that could go toward general expenses. So my advice would be we pay off those 2 loans and put that money toward the budget.
Do we need to vote on
You don't need to, but I'm asking for your input.
I say we go ahead and pay it off, if we have means to do it. I mean, that's 2 loans that we don't have to worry about, that we can use that money to help balance everything else out and stay in the positive.
It would bring about $114,000 toward the budget a year. If we pay those off, you'll add another $114,000.
that?
Entertain a motion to have it paid off.
Yep.
Now, motion by Ms. Jones, have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Talon. Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I vote yes, motion carried. Ms. Todd, pay the loan bill.
Okay. Next thing, I met with the current trash company this week. As of January 1st, the rate's gonna increase to $24.78 for a set of cans. That was part of the original contract. I spent a lot of time with them this week, and we were able to negotiate to keep that rate for the next 2 years with no increase until January of 2027, at which time it will be a 5% increase to $30.73. So if they wish to do that, they will put that in writing for us, no increase until January 2027.
And we'll bring that up
On your budget stuff.
under the budget.
Last thing, the legal expenses. Obviously, that's a topic we talk about all the time. Year to date, we spent $104,234.90 and budgeted $25,000. Just to break it down a little bit, almost $40,000 has been spent on conditional use issues, and there's still some going on, but we are about to implement some large fines, so we'll recoup some of those fees. Correspondence with council members, about 5,500. Correspondence tagged from other attorneys, about 4,000, meaning if you had another attorney doing something, they had to tag our solicitor and everything, so that added up too. Everything else was just spent on rules and regulations, public comment policy, traveling to and from meetings, stuff like that. So to reduce those, there's a couple things we can do. We can cut down on correspondence with the attorneys, obviously. We can find a town solicitor that can do all the things in one office instead of outsourcing it. And if they were reviewing the agendas and the rules and procedures, and we don't need that to be done every time. So that's just my thoughts on that. You can talk about that when we get to the budget as well. And that is all that.
All right, thank you, Ms. Todd. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Todd? Hearing none, moving forward. Old business. Number 1, discussion of motion to table flex time discussion from August 14th. Back on August 14th, there was a motion about flex time to allow it, but our handbook said it does not correspond with the handbook. Scott Wilcox in the September meeting to discuss it. So there was a motion made by Mr. Kemp to table the discussion, and it was tabled. And since then, it's not been brought up. My recommendation is we do away with the flex time, being that it doesn't correspond with our employee handbook, and we can go back at another time and revisit this when we look at the employee handbook and make any changes or whatever we need to do. So do I have a motion to remove the table and remove flex time?
Motion so made. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Talent, second by Ms. Jones. Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next one. Police chief update. All right. Everything came back. He went and had his physical and his drug test. All that came back good. His background check was intensive. It all came back with the recommendation to hire. I knew there'd be some other questions. I reached out to a guy from Post, his name is Chuck Emery, and he did advise that we could hire Mr. Walton as of today, if we choose to, as administrative duties, because he has not certified with his weapon yet, which means he would not be able to ride in a marked police car. He couldn't go out and do any arresting. We did have, as Todd said, an attorney, and his attorney write the employee contract, because he wanted, once we had it and we showed it to him, he was going to have it, take it to his attorney to look at, because of all the legal stuff. So basically what we did was cut out dropping it off to him to go to the attorney. The two attorneys have wrote it. I've seen a rough copy of it. There was some stuff that we had said in the previous interviews that he agreed to that was not in it. So I emailed back to Ms. Todd, and she had sent it to the attorneys, and it's in there now, which we talked about under the thing that he agreed to. But once his attorney's finished with it, it'll go for his final review. It'll come to us. we will evaluate and make sure it's what we want in the contract part. So he can still be hired according to the post people and start doing the administrative duties and all that. He just, once the contract is here and the council votes on it and accepts it, then he signs on the dotted line and it'll be a 3-year contract and we'll go from there. But as long as he accepts the terms that we have already set forth to him on the paper that he'd already signed under Mayor Kemp when we originally started this, then we can swear him in the process and he can help Sergeant Thomas and Kevin to get our police department accredited, get another officer in here because he has to be the one to hire them because we cannot because of all the police regulations and everything else. And our police department will grow, I'm confident, very quickly. We could have up to 3 very quickly once we have Mr. Walton here in the building. Any questions?
How long will it take him to get certified?
From what I'm being told by Sergeant Thomas, we have new weapons. They are scheduled to shoot this Friday. So then he would be able to go out and stop traffic, perform regular police duties, but also maintain administrative duties, which is going to be help our main process to get the accreditation. That frees up Sergeant Thomas from doing some of the paperwork that he can come out and take care of the patrolman. He's still doing both, but this way he'll be more out there, and then if the chief needs him, he'll be here to help out to speed the process along. A lot of the things that are holding up accreditation is the fact that there is no chief in the seat. So the quicker we get him here, the easier we'll speed this up, and we'll be back in business. I mean, Sergeant Thomas is doing a great job, but there's only so much that the accreditation people say that he can do from what they're telling us.
I got another question. About 3 o'clock.
No, that's, you can wait till public comment.
Okay. Now let's just see.
Ms. Jones, do you have anything? Any questions, comments?
No, I think everything looked good.
Ms. Cowan?
I 100% want him on. My question is, why do you hire somebody before all of council sees the contract? That's my only question. I'm happy he's coming. I'm happy Billy's gonna get help. But I've never heard of hiring anybody before the contract is.
I understand, but it has happened. Past Chief Philip Thomas was hired, and I was on this table, and I never saw the contract at all, or voted on it. And it was, from what I hear, he signed it, and that was it. I don't know about Sergeant or past Chief Riley, how that contract would transpire, or past Chief Anderson. I don't know how that happened. I mean, we can certainly hire Mr. Walton tonight, depending with the intention that the contract comes back in good faith, that
And if
this
it
council, then if it don't, then we have to sit back and regroup.
Do you understand where I'm coming from with this?
Absolutely, ma'am. Of
Because
course.
I'm not trying to offend you. I'm happy.
No offense taken.
This is just me.
There's legalities that are included, and I understand. I
Right.
believe the tentative issue that we're facing is that we have attorneys involved, obviously, just to ensure that the details in the contracts are specific
Right.
and not just something that the previous employment attorney had drawn up. Once he was removed from the process, I think everything's running a lot smoother. So,
I was just under the impression everybody was gonna see it for the signing is all.
Well, we will see, but you have to approve it.
Okay.
This is just hiring him tonight as a town employee, as your chief, as an employee. He can start doing his administrative duties and help with accreditation and everything else. Then once he's certified, then when the contract comes in, which we're hoping should be fairly quickly, I mean, Mr. Walton can reach out to his attorney because that's where it is right now. And then as soon as they okay it comes back, it'll get emailed to Ms. Todd, and then we'll get it to the rest of the council to look at.
So he's not looking to start like tomorrow, right?
No, he's still fulfilling his other obligations.
I don't know if that might help answer your question. He's not, what, a couple weeks before he would.
Yeah, he's got all next week, so it'll be like after Christmas, the week of Christmas or after.
Mr. Mayor, we really have to get him kind of like tonight to get this accreditation. Am I right or wrong? Is it January or February? If we don't have accreditation, we're done for.
So I just know that talking to John Feehan, the moment we get a chief, that one of the first things the chief needs to do is contact him immediately. They didn't necessarily say any more details, but we are held up because we do not have a chief.
And he could start working on accreditation right now.
Yes, our accreditation, all the files are done. I completed those today. The next process is for the chief of police to, there's a process with Post and their accreditation and DPAC that a chief of police would need to do now. So we're at that next step for.
So as long as he's doing the administration, we're good to go.
Yep.
The operative phrase is chief executive officer. That's what the chief of police is. So while he won't have police powers, he will have chief executive officer powers.
Everything else, but
Right.
Here's a food for thought. While I was on the phone with the dude from Post, he did advise me that they had a situation like this where they hired a gentleman from another state as their police chief. They hired him as a police chief, and he did the administrative duties while he was in the police academy. He had to go through the police academy to get certified. Once he completed his certification from the state and certified with their service weapon, then he was able to go ahead and do all their duties, and their contract was being written up. And then once that was done, they signed it, and the dude was there until he retired in last year. So at that point, being said, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to hire Mr. Walton as Greenwood's next police chief for administrative duties until he is certified with his service weapon, with the contingency of the contract coming back and it meets council approval.
I'll make that motion.
I have a second. I have a second by Ms. Talent, motion was by Ms. Jones. Mr. Duggar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Walton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
That being said, I don't move to this.
Yeah, you got a uniform. You look like you're important.
Most of
You look good too. Oh, you got two.
Come over there.
Never have to fight.
Okay. Place your right hand on the bottom. Repeat after me. I, David Walton,
I, David Walton,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of Delaware,
the Constitution and the laws of Delaware,
the ordinance of the town of Greenwood,
the ordinance of the town of Greenwood,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations. Welcome to the town of Greenwood. Have him sign it right now.
You got your stamp? You got your stamp? What's the matter with you, woman? Yeah, it's got a line for you. It's got a line for you. Huh? Yeah.
And this over to the.
Thank you very much.
Long time getting here.
Well, we're good now.
Wait, does that have to stand up?
Yeah, you're fine.
It's
Next order of business, new business. The discussion of possible vote on budget amendment. Okay, I had this put on the agenda. We're gonna bring up the property tax issue, price on property taxes. My motion is going to be to amend the original budget that I said of $2. It was not my intention to double the price of property taxes. I mean, I don't pay my bills, my wife does, so I don't ever see it. All I do is bring it up here and stick it in the box. I had no idea that we were already paying $2. My main goal was to get the town financially stable, keep us out of the red. After last month, listening to the town people up here about how much of the burden it was gonna be, the cost, and some of my neighbors and everything else, but after I heard all that, I started thinking, what did I do? I said, oh, I made a mistake. You know, I know that times are hard, everything's going up. So what I did is I came back up here a week or so later and sat down with Miss Todd and asked, what in the world did I do? She said, you doubled the property taxes. I was like, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make sure the town was stable. So we crunched some numbers, and I saw the numbers that I kind of liked what I saw. We were staying a positive. After hearing what, you know, we could pay off some loans and be everything else, I was okay with my next thought, and what my next thought would be it'll take a lot of burden off of the town people and everything else. So I want to amend my original fee that was $2 per assessed $100. I want to make it $1. So we're only going to raise them $1. So where we're paying $2 now, it's only going to be $3. That's my amendment motion to the property tax budget. Do I have any questions, concerns?
You weren't the only one that voted on that, so.
Yeah,
you know,
we all
need
did.
to take the fall.
We-
We're all in it.
we all
made
weren't
mistakes.
thinking.
Yep, we all made mistakes.
Yeah, I make a motion that we do $1.
Motion to amend the property tax budget from $2 to $1. Well, it'll be $3.
Yeah, $3 instead of $4.
Instead of $4, it'll be $3. Do I have a second?
I have a question.
Yes.
John, that 100-some thousand that we're gonna save, how will that help us? Will it really have to need to go to 3 if we get that additional 100-some thousand?
It'll add $114,000 to your operating income. So like if you go to $3 now, if you see on the second page, you're only $15,000 in positive. So you can add $114 to that. So like right now, you'd be tight at 15 because one big expense comes up. You know what I mean? So that 114 will be your cushion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand that, but I was just, so instead of going to $4, you're going to 3.
Correct.
So what are we now, Janet?
$2 per 100 of assessed value by the
So
county.
we're only raising it $1.
I had a motion and a second.
Oh, you didn't hear a second.
Ms. Talent? Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Carried. The next thing is the budget workshop on October 7th. There was a vote to make the chief's salary at 72. I would like to increase it by 10,000 to 80,000. Again, the town manager, we just made that we paid off 2 loans, so it will not hurt the budget to do this. We have the funds to do it. And it would help keep the officers here. And as you all saw in the town flyer, we do this. Mr. Walton has taken $2,000 out of that, which was the original, where it said 72, and added it to a signing bonus for a new officer. And from what I hear, we already have one in the background check station. So we are making fast process, and we're moving forward rather quickly. So are there any questions?
So you're going from 72 to 80.
Correct.
So you're increasing it by 8,000.
We're increasing it by 10, and he's taking 2,000 out of it, because where it was already 72. he's took 2,000 of it, of his own salary and made it onto that signing room.
So yes, the answer is increasing it by
Yes.
8.
Yes, I mean,
Okay. I kinda-
Forget about the sign-in bonus, he wants to increase just the salary to 8. Is that,
Okay, so, okay, his salary is, we put it on 72, now you wanna go to 80, which would be an $8,000 increase.
correct.
Okay. I thought you were saying something about $10,000 increase.
Yeah, I was doing the whole thing, not exclude that. Any other questions? Can I entertain a motion?
So be.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by motion by Ms. Jones, second by Ms. Talon. Ms. Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Todd, Ms. Talon?
yes.
Must be dry in here tonight. I couldn't talk
Mr.
either.
Donovan?
Yes.
I vote yes, motion carried. Okay, the big one. As you know, we've spent, our budget for lawyers were 25,000, and we spent over 100,000 on attorneys. The legal fees are everywhere. Mr. Sharp is the town solicitor, required to CC him on all items, so we pay him everything. The lawyer, we spent 31,000 on the 2025 budget for legal fees, so we need to make some changes on that. I don't see why we're spending so much money on attorneys. I mean, we're all pretty much level-headed, and to a certain point, we should be able to figure a lot of this stuff out on our own. If not, then we could go to an attorney to help. I mean, it's their job to keep us out of trouble, not put us in there. I mean, if we can find one attorney that can handle all our business, our planning and zoning, board of adjustments, the employment, all the FOIA stuff that we seem to get, about 100 of them a month, and we can stay out of trouble and save money for the town, and we'll be a lot better off. I mean, where's the $75,000 coming from to pay all these attorneys? I mean, we budgeted 25 because we said it was going too far before, so we said, well, we'll just do 25. We can put it out to bids find an attorney firm that can handle all our business. Then we can come back and reiterate how much money we want to spend on the attorney. Then we can ask Ms. Todd, say, if we go 50,000 and we start getting close to it, then we have the means to say, okay, we need to amend it. Then we can find out where we can pull the money from to balance that part of that budget. But we're spending so much money on here, the town people are starting to ask questions, where's that money coming from? Why are we going to so many attorneys for everything? And I don't have an answer for them.
I do. The one lawyer is only a land use lawyer, and he can't do the other stuff, so he calls the other lawyer. And then there's one other lawyer, I think, in there, Ms. Todd,
There's 3.
that does something else. So we're paying 3 lawyers that one lawyer could do.
If Mr. Sharp is a land use lawyer, you're paying him $300 an hour, you're paying the gentleman from Wilmington $500 an hour to do the same thing that Mr. Sharp could do for $300.
But
Is
he
that not
gets,
correct? Are we paying a land use lawyer in Wilmington $500 an hour?
Mr. Mandalis, but
Yes.
Mr. Sharp couldn't handle the conditional uses because he had conflicts.
Right, but it's not gonna always be a conflict of interest. I mean.
But, and you also have, Mandalis, Wilcox, and Sharp. And if Wilcox is doing something for employment or Mandalis is doing something for, say, conditional use, they have to CC Mr. Sharp on everything. So you're actually paying, say, $800 an hour.
So why, I mean, Mr. Wilcox or whatever, he's a specialty lawyer, he's not a lawyer you use all the time, correct?
You guys use him for employment.
Right, so
But he-
hopefully we won't have any more employment issues. So if that's being the case, then that's.
Well, if you're gonna redo your employee handbook, Mr. Sharp can't do that. I heard something mentioned about that tonight, but.
I mean, so all he has to do now is review a handbook.
You also have the right to not say, have a solicitor, you can have, I have this attorney for this, I have this attorney. Because when you have a solicitor, everything has to go through that person.
Well, then a lot of times you don't have a solicitor, a lot of times you don't even need one.
Because I didn't feel that we needed one, so I told him that we didn't need them, because why pay him to sit here if we don't need
That's
him?
right, so I mean, for years, we never had one.
So,
When something came up critical. we did.
right, so that being said though, but how do you guys feel about putting it out for bids to try to find one attorney that can handle everything?
I mean, they should have one out there to do it.
There is, I did do some research, I found some that handle just about everything. It's just, I don't know how much they would charge, but we could obviously put it out for bids and see where we have, and then bring it back to this table and see how it would work out. I mean, obviously, one attorney is gonna be cheaper than paying one to come to the planning and zoning, one to handle this and one to handle this. We have one attorney, he can handle everything, he could probably have 6 other attorneys that can answer the questions. He may not be able to answer, but he can walk across the street, across the hallway and say, yeah, I have an employment question, you've had this under this one, or I've got a land use problem here, or I've got this problem. So we kind of consolidate everything and just have one bill, one attorney that has multiple offices. So if this attorney can't be here, well, he can have a colleague step in, and we're not having to pay an additional attorney that's come in. So I think it's more cost effective for us as the town people, as the council, and it's more cost effective for the public, because then they know that we've only got one attorney, where that money's going and how it's being spent.
Who do you have in mind?
That I don't know, we have to put it out for bids.
Anybody have anybody in mind?
The only person I know is the firm, Behrman, Dawson, Brockstead, because they have 11 lawyers. That's the only, but like I said, I haven't priced anything, I didn't put anything out. We just need a firm that has specialties in their building. That's and the other thing you guys might want to rethink is adopting that Mason's manual. I don't know if you guys have read it, but that's really going to complicate things you're doing too, because there's a lot of rules in there that we don't follow. So you got, not tonight, but I'm saying you might want to rethink that around. I don't know if you've read it, but there's a lot of things we're not following in there, so the attorney's trying to get us to follow that book too. So.
Any other thoughts, questions?
Miss Darcy, could we put it out for bids? Different lawyers?
If that's
If
what
she
this
knows,
table
That's
wants,
what he's asking you guys if you
you
want.
know, if that's what we want, we can put it out for bids and see what we get.
that they can do everything.
And you can find attorneys to do everything, and
So Jamie's firm doesn't offer this. There's not enough lawyers in there that offers any of this.
I don't know how many he has in there, but Jamie's concern is they have so many conflicts. Like, let's say, just for instance, Derek Parker, they can't do any land use for them because they know a lot of people. Same thing as people in town knows everybody. So, but no, he doesn't have an employment lawyer in his firm. That's one thing he does not have. And you guys would interview the attorneys. You know, we put it out for bid, you guys would interview those, if that's the route you choose to do.
I agree, if you get away with one, you can do it all. That makes perfect sense to me.
now it'll be some more time.
No. I'm good.
All right, Ms. Todd, go ahead and,
Is there a motion to
do I have a motion to put our solicitor out for bid?
Yes.
Motion by Ms. Jones, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Town. Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carried. Ms. Todd, if you can take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next order of business is we need to set a public hearing date for the resolution of the town council of the town of Greenwood proposing to close and vacate a proper paper alley existing between Sussex County Tap Map parcel 530-9.16 and 5309.16-12. Ms. Cobb was gracious enough to put a calendar out in front of us. She said we have to it has to be posted for 2 weeks,
because it's a public hearing, and you
and
have,
for the public hearing.
you do already have a meeting scheduled January 8th if you would like to do the public hearing and the meeting that same night. It's up to you.
So,
Or you can do it on a different night.
or another night that works for you, but it has to be 2 weeks.
Anyone's fine.
So if we do it 2 weeks from today, we're looking at around Christmas. Anytime after Christmas.
After Christmas.
I mean, I'd like to get this matter taken care of
Yeah.
rather quickly, so the sooner the better. If everybody's okay with it, we can post it now and then see if they can run it, and we can do it after Christmas, and we can close this
What's
matter.
that date?
Be the 26th or 27th.
Town hall's closed the 26th and 27th.
26, 27.
Yeah, we're good.
But the 30th would be the only thing you can go is Mike, you can choose to do that.
That's Christmas, that's New Year's Eve.
No, 31st.
Do I have a motion for December
It's not a leap
30th at 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Ms. Talent? Yes. Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I vote yes.
What was that date again?
December 30th, 6 o'clock. The next one is, on the agenda, is appointment of members for Board of Elections for January 2025. For the next one is I would like to appoint Randy Willie, Kelly O'Brien, and Ellen Patterson. Do I have a motion?
Dale
Yes.
Patterson, Carrollton.
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Donovan. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Second by Ms. Talent. Ms. Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion carried. The next one, amendment to A1 zoning ordinance pertaining to permitted use on highway commercial. Generally, the antique store on the highway is moving to the old rock stone yard, and under that ordinance, which is in your packet, they do not have, it's not permitted to sell her commercial stuff out there. So we just need to amend it so we can the conditional use subject for special requirements, which you guys all have it in your packet. Supposedly it's designated for downtown commercial, which it should be all the town, because that way we can get businesses to come in town, out of town, to sell their merchandise. It says here it's highlighted on the page that I'm missing. And there we go. Antique shops, apparel, barber shop, beauty shop, bookstores, craft stores, drug stores, general merchandise, gift shops, grocery stores, hardware, outdoor display merchandise, food, retail sales, and specialty stores. So basically that would allow them to sell that stuff out there other than being in town. Do I have a motion?
Motion so made.
Motion by Ms. Talent, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Jones. Mr. Donovan, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Ms. Talent?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. That's the end of that one. Any council members' comments or concerns?
Yes, I've got some. Mr. Massey brought up last month about $14,000, Mr. Godwin. Actually, that money was his money. He had 2 weeks, $2,911. He had retirement payouts was $12,000, and then deducted by $15,500. By the time taxes were done, it was like $14,900. So that was in fact his money, wasn't about it.
I'll wait till public.
Okay. So I mean, you FOIA'd it, right?
I did, and I FOIA'd it because it wasn't necessarily the fact of what was owed to him, it was the fact that he was caught doing illicit things on the clock, and he still got paid out instead of being terminated. That was my point.
But I mean, you FOIA'd this request, right?
Well, yes.
Okay, so but I mean, I'm just saying FOIA log, and I don't see anywhere on here where the FOIA that you requested is on the FOIA log. Is there another log?
Excuse me?
Is there another log? Because this log here doesn't show.
I
any
don't
FOIA.
know.
It's under the line that says previous town manager or something. I don't have it right in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't understand what that had to do with.
No, I was just telling you where it was on the FOIA log.
So in looking at it, I'm just saying, looking at it, it looks like this was something that come out of a personnel file. Because it specifically says, confidential agreement. To me, that was, and your other issue, it was taken care of. The other issue that you were talking about with the email or the internet and so forth, that was addressed.
Okay.
And that was, matter of fact, we did an investigation on it, and then he was met with legal, and that issue was taken care of.
Well, thank you
That
for
was
clearing
wrong.
that.
I mean, that was-
I appreciate you clearing it up. I just know that if we were talking about one employee, here was an example of another employee.
So that's exactly what, it was addressed, we found out about it, it was investigated by the police department.
Okay.
And then we met with the gentleman, and he was dealt with.
Well, thank you, sir, for clearing that up.
That's all.
Anybody else?
I have a question on the audit. I know we got the letter. They've not gotten 2020 done yet?
They're up to 2021, I think is the last email Marshall received.
Okay, can we get 2020?
She said they release it all together in the binder, and they have spoken to the state auditors because I reached out to the state to see if their time frame is reasonable, and she said, yeah, they release it all one time.
So are they supposed, this PKX, is that what it is?
Yes.
They're supposed to do all of the audits?
Yes.
From 20 to
2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Anybody else? All right. Moving to the public comment. Let's see if there's anything. All right. Somebody have a timer? Remember, you got 3 minutes. Everybody's included. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. I will tell you that if this becomes a slander bashing this table, I am going to cut you off and ask you to sit down. We're not here to listen to belittle this table. We do take what you guys say under advisement, and we do want to hear from you along with the issues that you have with going on in town. With that being said, the first one up, if they would step up to the podium, would be Patsy Abbott. And that's 3 minutes when she starts.
All I have to say is, I'm sure glad we have a chief now, because we do need more officers, because I have a special needs son. He is hooked on them. I mean, he can be in a hell rate of a mood, but if he talks to Sarge, or even this one coming on, he'll calm down, so we need him. So get him here as fast as you can. And y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right.
But you don't have to do Brian, that's our son. She said for us to sign him, you know. Maybe.
Brian only comes when I'm busy.
No, yeah, he does.
That's okay.
Well, but like I said, you help him a lot.
I do have a question. I've heard that being Llewellyn had one officer, and he only works days. We've had police out, I live in the Chase Apartments. I've had police out there, and it takes them like 15 minutes. I've heard there's only 5 state cops at night. And when he goes off, all hell breaks loose. And you need to address special needs. I mean, I brought him up here when he moved in, introduced him to all police, said what his problems were, and they come out and they treat him with kid gloves. State is the same way. I can't say enough about the police department. My other question is, there's rent control in this city at all?
Rent control?
Yeah, any kind of, or the state?
Not that I know of, no.
Because I'm paying $1,100 for a 2-bedroom. My apartment complex sold, and when I renewed my lease, it went up $500. Everybody there is basically on a fixed income. I've got to move. We've had 9 people move out of there. They have a complex that's about 4 times the size of this one. They've only got 4 meters. Garbage is out of control up there. We've got appliances that they're pulling out of the apartments when these people move out. We've got like 8 washers, a couple of dryers. I called in, they sent a guy out, told them they were going to pay a $500 fine if they didn't get the garbage picked up. The appliances are stacking up and it looks like crap.
The appliances are stacking up in your complex?
Yeah, right by the maintenance shed. They're sitting out in wide open space. They got a guy that comes in and reclaims the stuff, but he only comes like once every month or a month and a half, and that place looks like a furniture store. Vacuum.
Let me do this.
Delaware Housing Authority.
They won't touch it. Because they have no vested interest in that.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll
that's it.
take it under advisement and we'll have them come out and take a look at the trash out there.
Okay, thanks.
You said Brian was in.
Yes.
He can say something.
Oh, no, honey, we don't have enough time. What's that?
During the summertime, right? I'm thinking like play a fourth base at a community pool. Hey, what's an idea?
Well, that won't, but he won't be bugging the police department then.
Next up is Miss Kelly. You have somebody doing the
I got it.
Oh, he's fine.
I just wanted to clarify the first budget amendment on the property tax, just because I've heard a lot of people asking me questions. Just to clarify, the property tax that gets billed in January is based off of the old assessment rate because the county has already billed us based off of that and you bill off the second half, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So there was a lot of concern because the new rates came into the mail about the same time that you guys passed the new rate, and there was concern that it was the new rate. That actually, you guys, we won't receive until 2026. This is based off of the old rate for any of the, am I correct?
Correct, yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that that was the case, because that takes a small component out of the confusion. The confusion was they thought it was going to be the increase and the new rate all in one fell swoop coming in January without a lot of notice. So I just wanted to clarify. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for getting people together to do lights on Town Hall. It was really nice.
I got some energetic young ones that like to do that. All right, next up, Ms. Webb.
I'm good, thank you.
And Ms. Sharp.
I'm good.
All right. That being said, any other thing that needs to be brought before the council?
I just have one thing. One person I forgot, without this gentleman right here, Kevin Eichman, we would not be where we are either. So I do apologize. I didn't think about him before. But once he sat down, I was like, yeah, this guy right here, we would not be where we were either. He's done a lot of phone calls. He's done a lot of emails. He's been in contact with Post, and anything that I need, he gets it done. So I do appreciate everything he's done, and have fun on your trip. Think about us.
Thank you. Oh, I'll be thinking about you.
With that being said, we'd like to take the time to
Before you done,
wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll see everybody next year. Ms. Jones?
Yes, I would like to congratulate Mike. He got turned in here in the position. I think he did one heck of a job tonight, running the meeting very productive.
Remind everybody to come out and vote January 8th.
Have a motion, second, all those in favor? Ms. Jones? Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan?
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh, gee, what's up? Thank you, Porter.
Yeah.